Hi fairies, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Fifi. It's so nice to have you here. I hope you stay a while. Today we are going to be filming another 24-hour readathon. Okay, I don't know why I keep doing this to myself, but here we are. Basically, we're just going to have a 24-hour timer and I will turn it on every time that I'm reading in the next couple of days and then pause it when I'm not reading until we finish the timer. The first book we are going to be reading in this readathon is The Summer Swap by Sarah Morgan. This is a literary fiction, women's fiction, but I know that it has a little bit of a romance within. The blurb says, when Cecilia Lapton's 75th birthday celebrations take an unexpected turn, she seeks solace away from the festivities and escapes to Dune Cottage without telling her family where she's going. Lily Thomas, a struggling artist, has been staying in the unoccupied cottage. When Cecilia discovers Lily during a late night visit, an unexpected bond forms between the two women. Then Cecilia's grandson Todd and Lily's unrequited crush shows up, sending a shockwave through their unlikely friendship. Will it inspire Lily to find the courage to live the life she wants? Can Cecilia finally let go of the past, find a new future? Because as surely as tide erases past footprints, this summer is offering both Cecilia and Lily the chance to swap old dreams for new. So it's giving very like hopeful summer read. I just have high hopes for this book. I had two other books by this author before I got this one, but both of those are Christmas books, and I got to one last year, but I haven't gotten to the second one. But the one that I did read, I gave 4 stars. So I know that I enjoyed this author's writing, and I did enjoy the thought of that one. It wasn't the best thing ever, but it was really, really good. And I've heard great things about this one in particular. So yeah, I'm just excited, honestly, and I'm interested in seeing how this goes. I have already read one chapter because I actually started reading this for a different video that I scrapped. So yeah, I know so far that Lily basically had to drop out from medical school because she was just a little bit too overwhelmed and it just was not going the way she wanted. She just realized that it's not what she wants in the first place. She was just doing it to like please her parents, which is very relatable to me. And so yeah, she has found herself in this situation where she's kind of broke and she's living in this small beach town. She's working as a cleaning lady in this beach town, and there's this particular house that hasn't really been occupied by anybody, but somebody is anonymously paying for her to clean it every like few days or so. And she just feels drawn to this house. So she started sleeping there randomly. Not because she doesn't really have a place, but obviously it's helping her as well because she's kind of poor. So she's sleeping there because she thinks that nobody cares, nobody's going to find out. But obviously, from what we know from the blog, she is going to get found out by the owner, which is apparently this Cecilia, who is also her ex-best friend's grandmother. This Cecilia apparently is the wife of like a very renowned artist who is now dead. And obviously, our female main character Libby is very drawn to the house because of how artsy it is, and she is also like wanting to become an artist. So yeah, obviously their paths are going to cross and they would build a bond, a friendship. Obviously I haven't gotten there yet, but I'm interested in seeing how that turns out and how that pans out. Also because this Todd, who is Cecilia's grandson, is also Lily's ex-best friend's brother. So that's a trope that I don't know how I feel about because he is engaged. Okay, he has a fiance, and if you know me, you know that I really hate the cheating trope, and I hate when that is imbibed or infused into stories like this. I just feel like it really does not do well for me. So I'm interested in seeing how the author tackles it and how that whole thing works out and pans out. But yeah, so far I think the writing is okay. It's nothing special. It's like quite simplistic, maybe a little too simplistic. It's still like in that literary fiction type of fashion, and it is still quite hard hitting when it wants to be. But I don't know. I just feel like I need it to be more. But obviously, I've only read one chapter, so I can't really talk too much concerning that. I just have to see how it goes. So we have our 24 hours starting now. I will get reading and then I will give you like initial thoughts when I get further into the book. This book has really long chapters and I don't love that. Okay, tell me why I am at page 50 and I have only read 2 chapters. What the hell? I can't deal with that. Like, I just can't. And the thing is that this book is, in fact, reading like a fiction novel, but it doesn't necessarily have the poetry, I guess, and lyrical type of writing that you would see in, your usual literary fiction. It's like quite straightforward, a little too straightforward. There's a lot of simile being used, not enough metaphor and insinuation, which I think I generally prefer. And it's just kind of boring right now. There have been like some things I've highlighted, obviously, like pretty basic things. For the first time ever, she was living the life that was her choice. Money is a powerful aphrodisiac. For the first time in months, she felt better, stronger, as if she might survive after all. I kind of resonated with that. And I do think I'm quite resonating with our main character, Lily. I think the fact that she's just struggling to see what life has in store for her and struggling to just understand her purpose is very, yeah, very relatable to me. Okay. I think we are getting quite enough depth. The characters so far don't seem like flat at all. They seem like real enough people. And yeah, I'm just very interested in, getting to the meat of it all. It feels a little bit boring right now, a little bit like mundane. We have just gotten to the point where the grandmother of her best friend comes to this cottage that she was basically squatting in and catches her living there when she shouldn't be there. So yeah, I just want to see how everything pans out. I want to see how the romance comes in, especially with the fact that this guy is engaged. But I'm going to keep reading. There's quite a bit to unpack here. Like, actually, so much, like, underlying trauma, I guess I would call it, especially in Cecilia's POV. It's not necessarily like a POV. I mean, the book is written in third person, but like we follow, I think, each person. I think it's just between Cecilia and Lily, at least so far. And we are getting more information about Cecilia and her life when she was younger, when she was married to her husband who is now dead. And yeah, there's a lot there to be unpacked. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like dragging, okay? And like I said, it's like pretty straightforward. There's nothing too lyrical going on with the writing, but for some reason I find myself like going back to reread sentences and I'm just like, huh? I don't know. I think it's the structure, or maybe because I'm like distracted. I don't know. I would say that I'm really liking the story. I like where it's going so far. Lily and Cecilia have obviously met, and they are already building a little bit of a friendship, a relationship, and I think it's quite cute and wholesome. I'm kind of nervous for when Todd, the grandson, comes because I feel like he's going to now kind of cause havoc in a way because of this main character is like still in love with him and he's getting married. Like it's a whole thing obviously, but yeah, I'm really liking it. I am liking the characters a lot. I do think they are very like fleshed out. Like I said, I'm really connected with Lily and her feelings, her emotions, and the way she's like acting out her emotions. It's like very reminiscent of something that I would do or things that I would do. So yeah, I'm liking it. I'm just not loving the writing style. I just wish it gave me more. But regardless, I am liking the book. I think I can get to the halfway point today and I would actually be very happy and glad of that. I'm currently on page 283 of this book, and I would say that yeah, things have really picked up. I'm liking it a lot more. Like I said, the writing, it doesn't have much to really offer, if I'm being honest. Like it's just like very basic in my opinion, but I'm enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the characters. I think the characters are really what's keeping this book going for me. I think they're just very cute and wholesome and very much fleshed out. As far as the romance goes, honestly, we've made it this far, and I'm still like very weary about the romance because I'm just not seeing the chemistry. I'm not seeing how exactly it pans out. But aside from that, I am really liking it. It's definitely not a 5 star. I thought it would be a 5 star for some reason, but it's just not giving 5 star at this point in time. Maybe a 4, maybe like a 3.75 or even a 4.25. But yeah, we have 20 hours and 33 minutes left on the clock. So yeah, things are moving quite slowly. But I'm going to try and finish this book in the next few hours and then we can start a new book because honestly, I'm kind of over it. I think I'm more in the mood for a fantasy, romantasy. So yeah, I'll finish this and give you my final thoughts, and we'll continue with this video. So I've just finished this book, The Summer Swap by Sarah Morgan, and I did really like it, but I do think I'm going to take a little bit of time to actually try and articulate my thoughts about this book a little bit better because on one hand I liked it a lot. Okay, I loved the story, I loved the characters, and I loved how everything came together in the end. But there were just some things that I couldn't really get behind with the writing and some parts of the plot. So I just think I'm going to take some time to actually like think on it, let it marinate in my brain, and then I'll give my full final thoughts and my rating. But we are going to start another book. So the next book we are going to be reading is Crown of the Dunes by S.C. Grayson. This is the second book in the Balan Desert duology. I read the first one last month. I liked it a lot. I give it 3.75 stars. I really wish I could have given it, a higher rating, but there were just some things with the writing and I guess the plot that I didn't necessarily love. But I'm actually really excited for this second book because I feel like it has potential to be so much better than the first one. There's a lot that could go on plot wise in this book because in the first one we have an ending that leaves you just wondering where the characters will go from that point. So I'm very excited. Also, I love duologies. I just think they give you like the respite to go back to a world without actually having to read an entire series, like 3 books, 4 books, sometimes 6 books. Like I like duologies a lot. It's just like very easy, very quick, very concise. Obviously, I can't tell you the premise of this book because it will spoil the first book, but I'm going to read you the premise of the first one, okay? An exile yearning for a home, a masked warlord fighting his destiny, a bond that could save the Balan Desert or destroy the world as they know it. Kira is an exile struggling to survive, forced to rob passing travelers or face starvation. When she steals from the wrong man, a vicious masked warrior named the Viper, his hands around her throat awakens an ancient magic within her, and she uses it to escape his clutches. Now, Kira must master her power to protect the city of Kelvadan, the only place an exile like her can find a home from the Viper and his growing army. For years, the Viper has fought to control the magic of the desert that boils in his veins, threatening to drive him mad. He will do anything it takes to heal the broken power of the desert that shreds his sanity, even marching on the great city of Kelvadan. However, the moment he touches the exile who tried to rob him in the night, his magic calms for the first time in years. Now he suspects the real key to healing the desert might lie with the infuriating woman who slipped through his fingers and now fights for his sworn enemies. So obviously it's an enemies to lover situation, definitely a huge fantasy duology. And I like the romance a lot because I really like the characters of this book. I think they are very real, they are very flawed, but also very like human, and I just enjoyed them a lot in the first one, and I can't wait to see where the author, you know, takes their story in the second book. So I'm starting it now. We have a dedication to the women who have been told they are too much, and to the men who would never want them to be less than they are. Oh, that's actually so cute. Oh, we have a guide to the clans of the Balan Desert. We didn't have that in the first book. Like, this is so fun. That's cool. I like that a lot. In the first book, we already have them basically professing their love for each other, but like something happens that separates them in the end. And now we have our male main character in this one apparently just wanting to find her and get back to her by any means possible. And it's just like he's so in love and obsessed with her, and like I can't wait to see how that feeds me in this book because I know it's going to be so freaking good. I just hope the like miscommunication is not like too much because there was a bit of miscommunication in the first one, even though it was solved fast enough, I guess. I really, really like the world of this book. It's unlike anything I have personally ever read before. We have these clans living in the desert essentially, and then we have a city that is made of stone at the edge of the desert or so. We have people that have been granted magic by the desert to do like so many different things, like our main characters and some other people. We have, so many different types of animals and creatures, like so many creatures in the first book. Like they were actually so scary. And I love the writing of this book, or not this book, the first one. I loved the writing because it was very evocative. I felt like I was literally there with the characters. And so when these creatures would pop up, I was scared, like I was shaking in my boots. So I'm also kind of scared to see what more creatures this author has up his sleeves. But yeah, I'm really excited actually. I'm so happy that my expectations for this book are already being met. Like, I am obsessed so far. Everything is going so well. Like, literally, just get right into it. So much has already happened, and I'm just 32% in. Like, I'm actually very curious as to how all this turns out because, like I said, in the last book, we are left with our main characters being separated. Okay, and for the first 30% of this book, we have our female main character believing that the male main character abandoned her, but obviously that was not the case. He was kind of stuck somewhere, and the moment he feels that something has happened to her, because they have a kind of bond, they can feel each other's presence with their magic, like it's a whole thing. But the moment he thinks something has happened to her, she has died or something, because he can't feel her presence anymore, he literally finds a way to get out of his situation and makes his way to her. And now they are basically, having to battle it out, because he is on the opposing team, I guess, on the opposing side. He is the leader of the clans, and her, she is about to be the leader of the great city that the clans are trying to destroy because they want to heal the desert. Like, again, it's a whole thing. But yeah, they're now on opposing sides of the battle, but this is the first time that they are seeing each other in a little while, and I'm just like very curious as to what the hell happens and how this gets resolved. Also, I'm weary because if we're already having the battle at this point, like just 30% in, like what is going to happen in the rest of the book? I just hope there's not much of a law. I hope it's not like too boring for the middle part of this book, because I feel like that might be where we are going, and I don't know how to feel about that. But so far, I am really, really liking it. Like I said, these characters just feel so real to me. They have so much depth to them, so much backstory. Like they are just so much more than what you see on the surface. And obviously, I'm not telling you so many things that are happening in this book because I don't want to spoil it. But there's so much that goes on, so much that has to do with the magic system, so much that they have to resolve, so many underlying troubles and things that are just looming, I guess. And of course, we have already had so many appearances of creatures, deadly creatures that are just like so weird and scary. And honestly, I don't know why I'm seeing them so vividly in my head. And it's kind of freaking me out. I just think the writing of this book is very good. It's very evocative. It's obviously like quite poetic and lyrical, but nothing too like you know, aesthetic, I guess. It does get the point across relatively well and relatively easily. I do think this author has like specific literary devices that they like and enjoy using in their books, and sometimes it can get a little bit redundant, but honestly, I don't mind. I'm still eating it up. I'm liking every aspect of this book, to be honest. I'm just curious in seeing where we go from here. I surrender to you, Kira of Kilvadan, the true champion of the desert, while he's on his knees. Exactly, like exactly. Oh my god. Did I even say the names of these characters? Our female main character is Kira, our main character is Eric's, also called the Viper. Obviously, I prefer Eric's. Um, why am I obsessed? Why am I obsessed with him? Like, he's so fine. He's so hot. Like, hello, need that. Sometimes when people fawn over male main characters in books, I'm just like, I don't know about that. But on the off chance that a male main character grabs my attention, oh my god. Like the fact that he's so obsessed with her, so in love with her, like would do literally anything for her. He has literally just surrendered to her, literally betrayed his people for her. The whole, motivation that he has been having and everything that he has worked towards for the past few years, laid down just for her. So far, there's actually so much yearning in this book, and there wasn't that much yearning in the first one. I mean, there was, but just not as much. I think the first one was a little bit like too fast when it comes to the romance, but it was still very strong and it did make sense. But this one, because they've been apart from each other and like just needing each other, there's a lot of yearning, and he's like wanting her bad, needing her bad, like feeling for her essentially, and it's just like exactly as you should, as you should. Not her literally arresting him. I love when they fight with each other, not against each other. Like they join forces and destroy magical, deadly creatures. Like exactly. You're supposed to be my prisoner, even if no cell can truly hold you. And I am. Nobody has to know. Just let me have this moment. Let me go back to my cell with the taste of your skin on my tongue. Wait, no, like I'm down bad. Oh, okay. Um, we're not even 50% in, and they're like getting it on. I don't know how I feel about that, but it makes sense. It does make sense, and it is quite what this author is trying to piss me off. Like she or he, I actually don't know if it's a man or a woman that wrote this book, but like they are trying to piss me off. Like, who is this man? There's like this random character that has been introduced, like he's a prince, I guess, and he's just like flirting with our female main character, and she's actually befriending him, and I'm just like, don't piss me off. Like, I hate when a new love interest is introduced for literally no reason at all. Like, we all know nothing will actually come of that. Like, you just want to cause problem. You just want to cause a rift between my babies. Like, don't piss me off. Don't piss me off. Like, who are you? Like, who are you? This is annoying me. This is actually annoying me. He literally just braided her hair. He braided her hair and then he gave her a massage because he knew that she was sore. Like, hello, exactly. I am really loving their romance. It's very cute, it's very wholesome, but it's also quite hot. Okay, nothing really sexual has happened since that first one that we had some chapters ago. We are seeing them kind of build more of an emotional connection rather than a physical one, which I really, really enjoy. I just feel like their love is very much believable, especially because there's like time passing, but it's done in like a realistic and masterful way, not in like all these annoying type ways that we see sometimes in, books essentially. But I'm really, really liking it. Okay, I will say that there has been a little bit of a lull. I am 60% in, and I won't say things are boring, but it's just not as interesting as the first 30%. We just have them kind of trying to figure out how to basically feed the people of the city but also heal the desert. And yeah, they're kind of sneaking around, to be with each other because he is supposed to be her prisoner. But yeah, I'm still really liking it. I'm liking the romance, I'm liking the plot, and the writing is really good. So yeah, with the gloves is actually kind of insane. Like, what the hell? Can't lie, this is actually getting kind of predictable. I mean, it was quite predictable from the beginning, but like when they have an issue, immediately I'm like, oh, this is what's going to happen, and this is how they're going to solve it, and that's literally what happens and how they solve it. So I'm just like, I need a little bit more. It's not quite giving me that pizzazz. So like, who told me that this book was ideology? Actually, I know exactly who told me. Google AI. This is why I can't trust AI. Like, this is definitely not ideology. If that ending has anything to say about it, like, what the hell? What was that ending? Like, that was crazy, but it was also annoying. It was also like sad. Somebody died, somebody like important. And it's just like, what the fuck? What the hell? Like, oh my god. I really was thinking that this is ideology, and definitely, like when I was reading, when I was getting further into it, and when we were reaching the end, I was like, how exactly is it supposed to wrap up in this amount of pages that we have left? And it obviously turns out that it is, in fact, not ideology. I mean, like, I've been scouring the internet, and there's no like mention of how many books this series apparently has, but it's definitely not ideology. So, like, what's going on? I feel bamboozled. I feel like scammed. Anyway, I will say that I definitely did like the book, and everything I've said so far concerning this book still stands, except that ending. Okay, that ending, I honestly still don't know how to feel about it. Like, it was a like I don't even know, was it a good ending or not? Who is to tell? How do I know? I have no idea. But like, I guess like that was the only thing that could have happened. But also, what the hell? Like, I just knew. I'm trying so hard to not spoil this book, but what the hell? I can already see how the third book is going to go. And that's assuming that it's just like a trilogy. Like, what if it's like 4 books? What the hell have I gotten myself into? That's crazy. That's scary. I'm going to have to follow the author and like, stalk them. So I can know when the hell the next book's coming out because that's crazy. But yeah, like I said, I really did enjoy the book, but there was just something about the last 20% that didn't necessarily do it for me. I just was not seeing exactly how those things were coming to pass. Like, it was a little bit rushed, but also a little bit forced. And it's just like, I don't know. I really don't know how exactly I felt about it. I think I'm going to settle on a 4.25 for this book because I really did like it. I know some people get like upset or annoyed with these extra specific ratings, but sometimes you just have to do it. Like this book did not feel like a 4 star. It felt definitely above a 4 star, but it also didn't necessarily meet the 4.5 star expectations. And I don't even know what exactly those expectations would be. I don't know, like I'm kind of at a loss for words, but I think 4.25 is a good place to keep this book. And I actually cannot wait for the next one. Like, hello, at least our main characters are not separated anymore. Like, I don't want to spoil it, but like, at least things are good with the romance. So I'm assuming there won't be much going on there in the third book. It would definitely be more politics based, hopefully at least, because this one did feel a little too spicy for my liking. It wasn't even that bad, but I just feel like it was a little bit much and unnecessary at some point. But yeah, I really liked it and I would definitely recommend this series. I guess I was going to say duology, but apparently it's not a duology. Oh my god. That's actually pissing me off. And I knew this particular character. I knew there was something about him. And it's crazy because this book felt predictable, but like I expected it, but like I actually have no idea how to frame my real thoughts about this book. Like this was an arc, by the way. I don't know if I said that. It actually is already out by now. It was published on the 19th of August, and today is the 20th. So I need to go and give my review on NetGalley and all that. But like I don't even know how I would frame my thoughts because like what the hell happened? That was good though. Like it was actually really good. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking about that book. I would recommend it. It was pretty good. Like a very unique or a more unique fantasy or romantasy than I have read in a while. And I quite enjoyed the writing and I love the characters so much. And the plot is actually really good as well. Yeah, it definitely lulled a little bit in the middle, but things picked up right back. And yeah, it just kind of went wild in the end. And honestly, yeah, I was sad. Like I was literally on the edge of my seat for the last 10%. Like what the hell? I had no idea what was going on. I even choked up when unfortunately somebody died. But yeah. We now have 9 hours on the clock, 9 hours and 7 minutes. I don't know how many books we are going to be able to tackle in 9 hours. It took me like 7 hours or so to read this book. So yeah, I'm going to go for a very quick, easy romance book. The Do Over by Bethany Turner. Sometimes dreams come true, other times the best outcome begins with an epic fail, whatever that means. Career driven McKenna Keaton has devoted her life to attaining the senior partnership at her law firm, so asking a man on a date should be nothing. But the past 4 days have been the worst of her life and have called everything she thought she knew about herself into question. Besides, she can't remember her last real date, one that didn't involve using a blind date as an opportunity to get a stranger's perspective on effective cross examination. Did you guys hear that? Oh my god. It's actually about to rain so hard. Like that thunder was crazy. But a real date and with shy, nerdy Henry Blumenthal, okay, what a name. McKenna's high school rival for valedictorian, who once took 3 hours to beat her at chess. Scratch that, he's Hank Bloom now, the famed documentarian, Durham's darling son. It's raining so hard. I don't know if you can hear me. Oh my god. I have no idea what is actually being said in this blurb. Like it's so long and I feel like I haven't even understand like I don't understand what's going on. But anyway, he also happens to look like he's stepped out of an Edinburgh catalogue. Whereas McKenna is a disgraced workaholic from New York on unpaid leave, accused of a white collar crime she would never commit, succumbing to panic attacks, watching her dreams unravel at age 38 and destined by the family curse to die before she turns 40. What the hell is going on? It's absolutely the wrong time to have a major crush on a man, especially one who treasures his memories of McKenna as the girl most likely to succeed. I have no idea what that means. Like, okay, can't lie, that blur wasn't very engaging or like encouraging. So whoever came up with that, yeah, we need to work on that. Yeah, I'm going to start it now. It seems interesting enough and light enough. So literally thought that this was just going to be a fun, quick, easy, middle of the road type book. I went into this thinking that it would just be a nice palette cleanser. Tell me why I am obsessed. Like, why am I literally eating this up? Like, I have no idea what the hell this author has done, but like, am I actually loving a romance book? I mean, if you followed me for any amount of time, if you've watched any of my videos, you would know that I am one of the biggest like romance haters, contemporary romance especially. And I just have never had the urge to really fawn over a romance book. I just always find them too corny, too cringy, especially like modern day romance books. Why is this so good to me? So basically, we have our female main character, McKenna, okay? Something has happened and she has been accused of basically embezzling from her company where she was literally expecting to be promoted. She goes on unpaid leave and she goes back to her family house where her sister will be having her engagement party in like a week. But then she decides to go for like this documentary premiere with her brother-in-law, and she meets this guy that she used to be rivals with but also used to be friends with in college. And she just realizes that she has a crush on him. Like she literally doesn't understand it, but after seeing him after so long, she's literally like hooked. And some people might consider this insta love. I think it's done very realistically. The way she feels about him is portrayed as she has a crush. Okay, this is somebody that she thinks is really, really cute, which is very realistic. Like you see somebody, you think they're so cute, you think there's something there, and you just keep thinking about them. It's very realistic in that way. I personally don't think it's very insta lovely. I think mm, just a tad bit. He is a very popular documentary producer. He goes by a different name now, so that's why she didn't recognize, him until her brother-in-law told her. And she is a huge fan of his documentaries. So obviously they meet up because her brother-in-law is still friends with him. He comes back to the family house with her brother-in-law. While he is in her family house, he meets her father, who is also as interested in genealogy as he is, and her father shows him their family tree. And they discover something which is very like interesting, which is that all the women in her lineage who were unmarried and had no children all died before the age of 40, which is like obviously circumstantial and obviously like maybe a coincidence, but then she kind of takes it to heart. She kind of is like, oh my god, I'm 38, I'm going to die. So that is where I left off. I'm on page 115. And tell me why I'm just loving the book. I think the most important part of this book and the part that really is resonating with me is the writing. It's so good. Like it's so much better than I expected. It's very witty, it's very lyrical, but also still very much like understandable, easy to follow, and like humorous. Like I am giggling at things that are being said, and I have already like highlighted so many things. I just think there's something about it. It's very metaphorical, but also has like very good, examples and instances of simile that isn't like in your face. And I'm just like, hello, I did not expect such good writing from a book like this. Like no shade. When you see books like this, you already have something in your mind, don't you? Like you're already like, it's just like a cute, random corny romance. I obviously can't say as to how corny it will end up being because we haven't gotten that far into it. But right now, I'm really, really liking it. I'm loving the writing a lot and I really love the characters. They have so much depth. I feel like I've said that so much in this video, but they really do have depth. I love how FMC has a very good support system, even if she kind of takes them for granted, even if she only has like her specific people that she really trusts to tell things. Like she hasn't told anybody apart from her elder sister and her husband what really happened that caused her to come back home. We have an explanation as to why she hasn't told her parents and her younger sister, which is this whole thing about, being understanding and being supportive. Okay. And it's just like very well explained, but not in a bulky or clunky type of way, not in a way that like is exhausting, I guess I would say. I'm just really, really liking it. I've highlighted quite a bit, like I highlighted this whole paragraph talking about irregularities. Ain't no party like a McKenna Keaton party because a McKenna Keaton party is uncomfortable. Like it's just humorous in a very specific type of way. I think most of the things that I have highlighted and underlined are things that I personally really resonate with. They're not necessarily the most profound things ever, but it's just like speaking to me for some reason. And our MMC what's his name, Henry, also called Hank, is like a storyteller essentially, and he is very keen on being a storyteller, not in his actual life, but also like philosophically. This last chapter I read, he was talking to our FMC about the ideology of what ifs and how, thinking of what ifs and considering what ifs in every situation makes you a storyteller. And it was just like said very profoundly. I obviously can't tell you too much because like maybe I would have to read paragraphs on paragraphs, and that would obviously be spoiling the book. But I just feel like he's very philosophical, obviously, but not in that like pretentious in your face type of way. He's just like very genuine about it, at least from what I've read so far. So yeah, I'm really excited to get further into this book. I'm also kind of scared, like what if we go downhill from here? But I have hope. Okay, I am going to keep reading this. Right now, it's definitely looking like a very high 4 star. I've never given a romance book 5 stars, so I really don't think that would happen. But it's going to look like a high rating, and I'm really excited for that. Like, exactly. We have 6 hours on the clock. I made it to page 205 of this book. Okay, I have less than 100 pages left. I am still really, really liking it. Okay, I will say that the romance just honestly isn't necessarily my favorite thing. I feel like this book is honestly more of a literary fiction or a women's fiction following our film main character, McKenna, because it really is focusing on her life and her, sorting out her feelings about where her life is going, especially with the whole thing about her not being married or having any children and being scared that she's going to die. But I do like our main character, even though I'm not necessarily loving the romance as much as I would like. I think he's very like soft, very strong still, and just like honestly very much the type of person our female main character deserves. But I just need a little bit more with the romance. I don't even know exactly what it is that I need with the romance, but there's just something not necessarily clicking for me right now. Well, I'm really, really liking this book. I'm still loving the writing and I'm liking how it's going. Honestly, there's not much going on plot wise, can't lie, but it's still holding my attention and it's still keeping me interested. So, yeah. I think I'm in the exact same position as I was yesterday, but it is the next day, and I have finished this book, The Do Over by Bethany Turner. I really did like this book. This is one of the better romance books that I think I have ever read. Like I said, if you know me, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of romance books, contemporary romance books. And this one, honestly, like was just so fun and something that really resonated with me. I really liked the characters. I thought they had like a good amount of depth. I will say that FMC was kind of annoying with the way she was like just lying about the things that were going on in her life to the MMC. MMC as well, I thought was a little too perfect. And when he did show signs of imperfection, it was like a little unrealistic or done in a way that I didn't necessarily love. I also did not love the third act breakup. I think it lasted a little bit too long and was just so drawn out and tried to make up for how insta lovey the book actually was. Like they actually fell in love with each other in less than a month, and then the third act breakup or whatever lasted for like 2 months or 6 months or something like that. And I was just like a little bit too unrealistic for my liking. But yeah, I really did like this book. I think I'm going to settle on a 4 star because it was good. It just wasn't the best thing ever, and there are some things that I would personally have changed. I did like how short and concise it was without feeling a little too rushed. And yeah, it was just like a really nice romance book with really good writing, in my opinion. So I would recommend. The final book we are going to be reading for this video is New Term at Malory Towers. This is the seventh book in the Malory Tower series by Enid Blyton. Okay, it's a middle grade book. I used to love these books when I was younger, and I picked it up again like last month. I read 6 of them in like 2 days. I just felt so nostalgic and just felt really, really comfortable. They're all like pretty short books, nothing much going on necessarily. They're just very quick, very nice, very comfortable, very nostalgic, very safe. And because you only have like 4 hours left on the timer, I think that that's just like where I would like to be right now. I would like to be in that world with those little girls in this like boarding house that just have little girl problems. Like Like I really just want to live in a space where your only worry is school drama and friends and shit like that, like trivial things. So yeah, I'm going to pick that up right now, and I guess I'll give you an update. I don't know how much of an update I'll be able to give you because it is the seventh book in a series. But basically, like I said, this follows like a bunch of girls over time in this boarding school, and yeah, we just see friendships bloom, we see betrayals happen, we have like actually sad moments sometimes. Like there was a book I think that I actually really cried about because there were just some sad undertones. But generally, it is a very light-hearted space. It's a very like hopeful, just soft space, and I think that's exactly what I need right now. So yeah, see you soon. So in the first six books, we follow this particular group of girls. Our overarching main character was Daryl. We follow her and her friend from first form to the sixth form. And yeah, now from this one, I think we're going to be following her younger sister who joined like I think 2 books ago. She joined the school, and we're just going to be following her group of friends because Daryl and her friends have graduated and gone to university, blah blah blah. We now have Daryl's sister Felicity and her own group of friends, and I think we're going to be following them until they graduate. So yeah, I'm very excited, honestly. The thing I really love about these books is just like the continuity. There's no like space where you're wondering, oh, where is this and who is this and how did this happen? You're just like following the girls literally as they're living their lives, as they're growing up. It's just so like wholesome and cute, and it really feels like every time I read one of these books, I'm healing my inner child just a little bit. I don't even know how that is, but yeah, I know I'm going to love this book so much. I haven't given any book in the series so far less than 4 stars. Hopefully, this one, keeps up to that pace. And yeah, I'm just really excited. I'm in chapter 2 now. We are back at school. These books kind of do follow like the same format where we start the book with them arriving at school and we just follow them through a term. So yeah, it's like a little bit repetitive if you want to feel that way, but honestly so many things happen, so many different things happen, and yeah, it's quite mundane, I can't lie, but also it's very comfortable, it's very cozy, and I just love it, honestly. So I'm going to keep reading, and yeah, see you whenever I see you, I guess. We have finally finished this readathon. I finished New Term at Malory Towers. I really, really liked it. Honestly, everything I've already said still stands. This was just a very quick, easy, nostalgic read for me. All the books in this series have felt that way for me. It just makes me very happy. It makes me feel very cozy and safe, essentially. And I really loved it. I think I'm going to give this one 4 stars because it wasn't my favorite in the series, but I still really, really enjoyed it. I think because we have already been following Daryl and her particular group of friends for the first 6 books, even though we did have more information about her sister and some of her friends, like the fact that this one was just solely focusing on her sister Felicity, it was a little bit like, I don't know what word I would use. It wasn't jarring per se, and it wasn't like bad. I really did enjoy their story, and I enjoyed following their group of friends, but it was just a little bit like different from what I was used to, I guess. So yeah, I still really liked it, and I can't wait to read further so I can get more acquainted to Felicity and her own friends. But yeah, I realized that I didn't actually give you my final thoughts about this book. Okay, I think I'm going to settle on a 4 star for this one as well. So that would make almost every book we read in this video 4 stars. I think it was a very good book. I really did like the writing and I enjoyed the characters. I think the characters really made this book for me. They had so much depth. I feel like I've said that so many times, but they felt very real to me. The only person that I didn't necessarily connect to as much was the male main character or the love interest, who is Cecilia's grandson and Lily's best friend's brother. I just feel like their romance wasn't anything for me to really hold on to. It just didn't give me exactly what I wanted. It felt a little bit rushed, a little bit forced, a little bit just like, I don't know, too fast. We were told obviously that he had a friendship and a relationship prior to him dating the person that he started dating and prior to her falling out with his sister. To me, it was definitely a case of telling rather than showing. We never really saw them build anything. They tried to spend 2 weeks together that we saw, and then immediately they were like, "Oh, I love you so much," blah blah blah. Obviously, it makes sense that people that have known each other for quite a while would fall in love, and it wasn't unrealistic in that way. But I just wish that we would have been shown more of them having or building that friendship and relationship in the book. But I really did like the relationship that was built between Cecilia and Lily. I thought it was very wholesome, very cute, and I loved how we got more insight into Cecilia and her family, and even her daughter and her daughter's life and marriage, and just like the characters were just my favorite thing with this book. The writing I enjoyed, but I did have some qualms with it, and also with the plot and the pacing. So yeah, I think a 4 star is a very nice place to just keep this book, because I really, really did enjoy it, and I would recommend it. It was a very nice summary read, very heavy on the summer vibes because it was set in this like beach town in this cottage. I would definitely recommend it, and I actually really can't wait to dive more into this author's discography. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. We do have 48 minutes left on the clock, but like there's obviously nothing that can be done in that amount of time, so we're going to call it a day here. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I talked about in this video. If you'd like to read any of them, just talk to me down below. I love reading and replying comments. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram if you want to be book besties or just besties in general. I would really love and appreciate that. But for now, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.